Hello guys and welcome to Singapore for round 14 I think of the Race Department GP2 series, and as you can see it is raining and I am on the full wet tyres, and yeah, so we're on board my qualifying lap as per usual, and just coming round the first few corners now, and I haven't actually set a time yet. I tried to at the start of qualifying and it was about intermediate weather, um, but it was not really. It was getting wetter by the second, really. So I don't think anyone set an intermediate time or a time on the intermediate tyres. So I came in, put on the wets, and as you see, I'm purple in the first sector. And this is my best run. So coming down to the Singapore sling now, and I don't think the braking points really need to change too much in the wet because you weren't really going fast enough. As you see, I kind of lose it there, cut the corner and go into the wall a bit, and then coming up to the hairpin, the left-hand hairpin. And yeah, I don't think braking points needed to change overly much because it's quite a slow track, so you weren't travelling that much quicker than you would have been in the dry. It's only like the long straights really. You needed to adjust the braking points a little bit for. And you see I'm still purple in the second sector, and as we're coming into the third sector now, I'm flicking the fuel mixture down to standard, I think I did, because it's wet and there's going to be a lot of wheel spin, and the straights aren't really long enough to get down the full power of the rich mixture, so just to cancel out the wheel spin a little bit. But coming round the last corner now, and across the line to go provisionally pole, and that is how it stayed for my first ever pole position, taking it by 1.5 seconds. And what was also a bit annoying was I was 9 tenths up on another lap before I kind of mucked it up in the final sector, so I could have been on pole by like 2.3 seconds. But hey, I got the pole, so I'm not arguing. But it was a dry start with a 68% chance of rain, I think, or something like that. And I'm starting on options, kind of expecting there to be a safety car at the start, and then I can go into the primes, whereas everyone else is starting on the primes, and I assume they're trying to go till the rain comes. As the lights come out though, and we're flicking up to Rich pretty much straight away, using a bit of curves just to defend from Rob Noxious, giving him a bit of room on the inside and coming round the first corner quite cleanly there and holding my position. And Gunnar Gamble's got in front of Rob Noxious now, so that's giving me a little bit of a break as they're battling, but running down into turn 4 and taking that quite nicely and using a bit of curves down the straight just to get away a bit, as Gunnar Gamble's held the second position. Rob Noxious has slipped into third, and coming across the first sector line now, I'm 8 tenths up and just creating a bit of a gap already. But that's how it stayed till lap 4, and Gunnar Gamble's a bit behind, 1.5 seconds I think it is, but then bang into the wall, and that destroyed his race as the safety cars come out. And now, as I expected, this early safety car, I put on the primes. So it appears that my strategies worked out well, but coming into the pits, Theo managed to get past, and then coming out around the Singapore sling under the safety car, Theo spins, I overtake him and get a penalty for it, which I thought was a bit of a bullshit penalty, to be honest, because his span, he had, like, where was I supposed to go really? I mean, I could have slowed down and stopped, but normally if someone comes off the track or spins, you should be able to overtake them. But as you see, I'm trying to let him back through here, but the game's not letting him. And yeah, so that was a 10-second penalty that I thought was absolute bullshit. But what could I do about that? Theo had to pit in anyway. I had for a new front wing. But now to the restart on lap 6, and we've got Lance behind and Rob Noxious in third. So flicking up to Rich, using a bit of curves, and the game actually slows me down a bit because I'm not far enough away from the safety car, it seems. But coming away, and I've not got the biggest of advantages that I would have wanted, and it's just basically trying to create a gap quite quickly and just get out of the DRS in time for when it's operated again. And it appears that I did that as we come around turn 4, taking a bit of curb, but not upsetting the car too much. but on to lap 12 now, and I have created a gap, and Tio and Rob are just behind me, and Lance is in 4th. And at this point there was only 4 drivers left in the race, as Mantas and Aaron technically had an incident on like lap 2 or 3 I think, but no safety car came out for that. But on board now with my fastest lap of the race, and this turned out to be the fastest lap of the race, as it was the last lap before it started raining I think. It might have been a few laps maybe a bit later to rain, but I think this is the last fully dry lap. But as you can see, I'm not even faster than my previous lap at the sector 1 checkpoint, even though it's not a checkpoint really. But yeah, coming down towards Singapore Sling now, braking about 75 metres, just flicking through the gears, and then back up to, or keeping it in 2nd, sometimes up to 3rd, riding the curbs but not like extending or cutting at all. Just using the momentum to come through that corner, the hairpin. I think you can take a bit more momentum through that corner than most people really think you can. And braking about 100 metres for the next corner. As you see, I'm now up on my previous on my previous lap, and this is the corner that really stumped me quite a few times during the race. Quite a difficult corner as you're trying to turn and brake at the same time. But into the tunnel now, taking that nicely, carrying good amount of speed through there, and into the last few corners. This is quite a tricky corner as well, as you can go too deep and muck up your exit, but not doing anything badly there. As we come around the final corner, just flicking down the gear and coming across the line to go to get the fastest lap of the race. But now on to lap 16, you can see it's starting to rain again, coming into the braking point. I'm braking, but it's just not slowing down, so I have to flick it into reverse to spin the car around and get back onto the track as quickly as possible. As you'll see in the time split now, I had an 11-second lead over Tio, and I did practically thrown that away, as he wasn't that far behind. But still on lap 16, coming into the end of the 2nd sector, see Theo's only 1 second behind as I throw it into the wall, having to flick it into reverse again just so I don't lose a front wing. But the danger with doing that is that you could like destroy your car. But coming into the pits now, just checking the race director, and it appears that me and Theo were the last of the 4 runners to put on the inters. But I knew as I was in the lead, I didn't need to take any gambles. I just need to change when it started to get too slippery, rather than trying to guess when it was going to get slippery. But coming out of the pits now, Rob's got past us as well. He pitted quite a bit, I think a lap or 2 earlier, and that's clearly paid off for him, as now I'm back to P3, and the furthest back in the race that I had been all race so far. But just this is starting to kind of bring memories back of Hungary, when it was us 3 battling in the rain, and I knew I came off best there. Managed to win that race and managed to put in a big enough gap during the wet period to hold off Rob and Theo. But as you see, I'm closing up lots, having a little look down the inside of Theo. Theo defends, brakes a bit late, and bang, it's the wall, turns into Rob. And that is nightmare for them two, but I'm taking full advantage, and that's great news for me, as now I know Theo's going to have a penalty for that. And I don't know if they had any damage, but I think they dropped back quite a way. But on to lap 18 now, throwing it into the wall at the bridge, and it's starting to get pretty slippery. So I was planning on putting the wets on anyway. As you can see, I've looked at the race director, and I'm the last guy to do so. Just changing my front wing as well, and coming out the pits, still in the lead, and so good till lap 27 of 30. And coming round this corner, I completely just understeer massively and damaged my front wing. But I think I've got a decent enough lead. I think I was about a pit stop in front of Tio at this point. But coming round the end of the long straight and just coming around these corners and bang into the wall, lap 29 of 31, losing my front wing. I knew I had a big enough gap for a pit stop, but with a damaged front wing only halfway, like a third of the way around the lap, I knew Theo was going to close that gap, and eventually I have managed to get it back to the pits. I think I still had like a 20-second lead to Theo though by the time I got into the pits, as Lance just went past there, who just had a go at the intermediates as it was drying. I think it stopped raining, but I knew that I was quicker than Theo on the wets, and I didn't really want to gamble on the inters, as I know I could catch him on the wets. As you see, he went past quite a while ago, and bang, hitting the wall there. And I see lancing the wall on his intermediates, but I knew this was going to have to be a few qualifying laps to catch up with him and possibly get past him. And now coming on to the last lap, bit of live com. Come on! So I think I managed to close about 5 or 6 seconds on Theo on that on my outlap, but on the fresh tyres and having to put a few qualifying laps in, I managed to close up quite a lot, and now I'm pretty positive that I am quicker than him, and it's just a matter of getting past. But then this is a street circuit and it is Singapore, and it's not going to be easy, especially as it is raining. So I can't really make any lunges without maybe the risk of sliding in and taking each other out. But as you see, I'm braking pretty early there, as I wasn't sure where Theo was braking. So I didn't really want to take the risk and just take us both out, as I just said. But trying to get the cut back on him, but I think I turned in a bit early, so I had to correct. And then bang, a bit of oversteer there, but held it well. Coming around this corner now, Theo gets a bit of oversteer and I don't have enough room to react and just hit him straight on, and that was probably a good place to make the move if I was a bit further back. But coming into the Singapore sling, and Theo's braking a lot earlier than I expected, so I try and take him by surprise down the inside, bang, hit him. Thankfully I hit him on the side pod so he didn't actually spin and I didn't get another penalty. But letting him back through, so I didn't really make the move stick. And coming round the hairpin now on the run down to the end of the second sector, using the rest of my curves here, getting a good run out of the corner, and I think I'm passing him. I have passed him, but can I hold it onto the track? Braking about 125 metres, but no, flying straight on and having to throw it into the wall, flicking it into reverse. And now I'm about 3-4 seconds back on Theo. And I was surprised at how I did fly straight into the wall that much, because that was where I've been braking for the majority of the race in the wet. But this time it just didn't work for some reason, maybe because I used a bit more curves than I had been. But still, I've dropped behind, and coming into the last few corners now, this is reminding me of Hungary again with Jay. But this is getting really tricky now, as it's pretty much intermediate weather again. And Theo's really struggling. He's braking a lot earlier and going a lot slower than I am. As I come around the last corner, using no more curves actually, as we come across the line. And no, I can't beat Theo. Theo has beaten me to the line.
Great race, just fantastic. 18 points.
How is it fucking fantastic? Why don't you fucking live the whole race and be happy about it that you lost? But them anger issues were all resolved when I actually appealed the penalty, and the positions got swapped between me and Theo, so that was another win. But thanks guys for watching, see you next week.